that could happen. So yeah, I'm just excited to see, because I think Cerberus comp, especially on top side, is very strong, gives a lot of space to Artemis, and then later Artemis can take over. On the other hand, Team Secret definitely have a good team fight, a good comp that can side lane and then look for catches. You have Varus ult, Ashe ult, Maokai. It's so easy to take one target on a very high range, take it out, and then just play side lane again.
I'm just excited to see these champions in actions, because I really think we have been appreciating some of the champions that are in the global meta, like Lissandra, like Olaf. Rumble comes to mind as well, who's still nowhere to be seen in the VCS, which is so weird to me, because this champion is insanely good. Yeah, but we do have Taki at least, who plays support Rumble and destroys everyone with it. So that's my hope for tomorrow again, a little bit more of Taki Rumble, to show everyone how strong this champion can be. For now, we're back to Ashe, Varus. Team Secret really just playing a starter split meta for the most part. All of these champions were strong at the start, and they are kind of strong in their own rights again / still, but a little bit of a different application, right? We have Maokai, who now builds different items than at the start. We have Ashe, who functions a little bit differently. But in essence, Varus Ashe is still this disgusting bot lane where you can never even step close to the minions, as we can see here in the first few trades.
Yeah, and maybe also going back to something that felt like it worked in the beginning, right? So what often is when you like lose a lot as a team is that you lose trust in yourself and how to win. And it could just be the case that they think, okay, that worked for us in scrims and officials during the first few weeks. Let's just try that, because we've tried the rest. We've tried playing what everybody else does, and it hasn't worked for us. So just let's go back to something that works, even though it's maybe not the best on the current patch.
Yep, I don't hate it. Also, I think giving Sorn some point-and-click CC when he has been struggling on his individual play is definitely a good play. This is a bit of a risky dive. They have pretty high HP still, and Sorn goes down very low at the start. Artemis with a flash away. Now Eddie on the chase. Eddie should have the kill here, and there's the first blood for Team Secret. Successful dive onto the Cerberus bot lane, and he does have Hugh heals here, and Sorn needs to be careful, but Sorn gets the W, and Eddie once again on the chase. That's another kill for the ADC, and Eddie on a 2-0 start to start off our series for Team Secret against Cerberus.
And I don't really understand how Drakta is pathing away from this. Like, he needs to know that this is going to happen. I mean, he kind of left his bot lane completely out to dry and told them deal with it, and they couldn't. And Artemis and Huba were really trying to preserve HP, but even then, they were actually this low. And the dive itself was really nicely executed. Soren holds his W for a long time, making sure that Artemis wastes the cleanse early on. And then the redive just comes in. Elio tanks the first tower shot, and then Cuba just walks out of turret as well. So
yeah, do you think Cuba should never walk out of turret range?
No, I think he absolutely should stay on the turret bed. He's 100% dead. He basically he's 100% dead. He just has to accept that he's dead and try to get one back.
Agreed. I think he gets a counter kill there for sure, looking at the HP and also his heal coming in. Instead, he walks away. It's a lot of flashes forced, but even then, Elio didn't even have to flash, so it's it's all 4 summoners used for Cerberus, only for 2 flashes and a heal on the side of Secret, so it's a comprehensive win for the side of Secret's bot lane. This matchup is not going to go better now that Varus is 2-0. It's going to be almost unplayable for Artemis and Huber. They are screaming at the other members in the team to help them get out of this horrible, horrible laning phase, and maybe Drakthar level 4 with his flash available can make a visit down towards the bot lane now.
Yeah, and there's a huge wave stacking again. I'm surprised that we don't see Maokai just walk through that wave again, take the 3-3 in bot. That he is trying to get into Pun, I guess.
He's here. Hero doesn't have the E available, so no immediate CC, but Pun is in no man's land. Sorn is only level 3. Sorn could die here, no? Sorn hits level 4 on the minion. That was very cool. The level up actually saves his life. But look at Pun. He was almost ready to 1v2. Gets to dodge. That was more dicier than it should have been. But in the end, yet another successful gank for Sorn. Sorn stepping back into the team after cupping a lot of flame and suddenly having his best game of the whole split.
And now, should there be a matchup between Team Secret and Team Flash, then I can only say, Fug1, just watch what this man is doing. That's what I want you to do, just with your top lane. Just walk at lane, win. You don't need levels, and what I don't like is that Soren is actually building AP Maokai. I think that's a mistake. I think he should be building tank Maokai for sure. Anyways, that's like the playstyle that I would have wished from Fu 1, because when you have laners that with their gold lead can do something, this is how you should play, and he executes that perfectly. Gets the bot dive, gets the top kill, and now there's already a 1.34k gold lead on the side of Team Secret, and they definitely can play that out because their team comp definitely isn't weak in team fights whatsoever.
Okay, Cerberus is calling for the bot. Hail Mary. There's the Lissandra is walking down already. She was spotted on a ward though. Zorn is in a bit of a pickle right now because he has nothing to do. All his camps are gone. Drakthar with a decent invade timing, but he's not level 6 yet, so he doesn't really want to commit to the bot lane. And in the end, they walk away yet again, isolating Cerberus' bot lane that is just crying for help because it's a miserable time down in this matchup.
Absolutely, and I mean the jungle farm doesn't look great right now. It's definitely looking miserable, but catch-up XP is broken, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. As we learn in EU every week when Walrang is playing, I think he really showed how ridiculously little you have to farm and how much time you can spend on lanes and still keep up. And if Soren plays that decently now, I think he should be able to just keep up and keep himself in the game, because... And that's the problem why I don't like the AP Maokai with this playset. If you play AP Maokai, you're basically full clearing hyper carry jungler. You don't really want to perma gank because you want to just get farm and you're basically like a Lilia, you're like a Karthus, right? But if you play this playstyle, the tank Maokai is just insane because you just get goopy tanky, you don't need much gold and you're gonna do your job. So that's why I don't really like the AP Maokai currently with this playstyle specifically.
I am really confused by what's happening in top lane, because I don't think Pan should be winning this hard, especially after the kill was delivered to Hero's side. Okay, he only got the assist, but still, Pan is completely running away with this lane, and I've seen this matchup a few times in a few different regions, and it has not looked this one-sided for Olaf in most of the games I've seen. I've even seen Olaf lose the early game to the Jax a few times, but... Pan seems to have the comprehensive advantage over Hero. He's one of the best laners in the league. Hero struggling in teamfights, but his laning is usually crisp.
Yeah, I mean, it's also down to rune choices. I'm not really sure why he's not going lethal tempo, because in this matchup specifically, you can't long trade without lethal tempo or Conqueror, and he has basically rune that with grasp that he wants to short trade. So like, the way he's playing trades where he is using his E, grasp, and jumping out is how you want to trade, but it also means that you give way more freedom to this Olaf than he should have.
Maybe it's just unfamiliarity, because as I said, no one really plays Olaf in this region, so maybe he just is not too sure and doesn't want to into the Olaf, because we all have seen when Olaf pops off, you can't really do much against it. Cerberus, I like this call. Get away from the bot lane isolation, just try to play team fights, and they will secure the first objective of the game. Still 1.2, 1.3k gold down as Yado gets the engage, but he's so far away from his team. That was a horrible, horrible play from Yado. He flashed, isolated himself, and it's another kill over to Secret. What happened to Cerberus the last few weeks? They look scatterbrained. That is one of the most disgraceful plays I've seen from a mid laner all week.
I mean, check this man's PayPal. I think he's getting paid by the wrong team. I mean, like, what did he just do? I mean, flashing forward, fine enough, but then he doesn't go for Elio, but he goes for Artifact, who's already standing on a turret. His team is completely split from him, and now he's just that 3 kills over to Eddie, who might be dying now because he's completely alone currently. And Drakthar placing the Herald, and TP comes in. That's a really good TP, making sure that Eddie doesn't die and that Eddie doesn't give up the 600 gold shutdown specifically. And it's only gold to Drakthar, so it's really not that bad.
Okay, so it's more than a decent start. This is better than most of, maybe even all of Team Secret's games this whole split. So they should really be able to finish this game and get, or just walk it home, play a clean mid late game and get the 1-0 advantage. But
Pan and Hero traded sums, by the way. Ghost for Flash, so trade up for Pan, especially if he has this Ghost and ulti back up. He can probably all in Hero if he misplays again. And
they also traded ults, I believe, so Hero doesn't have his ult available either.
But Hero used his ulti early actually for a trade. And Pan
is looking for his opportunity. Oh, he waited for the E. No. Now he's ready to go. This is risky. Hero, if that X lands, Hero is dead. But the X doesn't land. There's dead Wukong on my screen suddenly, and I have no idea what happened there. But it's another kill to Secret. 5-0.
Ego back in here. Yeah, I mean, Draktar just looked at his team, looked tab, and was like, "Oh, you're all 1-0. I have to join you." He did. So, yeah, I mean, we see it in mid lane. Artifact engaging Yado, and that's what I meant. This matchup is just not good. And the Ash ulti, oh no!
That is so sad. Okay, I can't really blame Draktar for that. That is scumbag Yado.
That's just Yado griefing it again. I mean, he shouldn't be face checking that bush ever, just because he doesn't know what's in there, and he doesn't win the 1v1. Like, and he didn't even build Hexdrinker. Like, Yado can't win this without Hexdrinker, and Hexdrinker is like incredibly broken against any burst AP champion, of course. So yeah, it's not even a little disaster anymore. It's a big disaster, especially around that mid lane position. In bot lane, Artemis is trying to farm up, but on the other side you have Eddie, who's already really fed. So
I think we have to start asking the question, what happened to Cerberus? Ever since their loss against MBE, they haven't looked the same. They are just losing series after series. It doesn't even matter who their opponents are, it seems, and just maybe the Hugh substitution is more than what we thought with just giving him time. This actually looks like they're just really trying to find anything that works for them, because they are still in a precarious spot. They thought players were secured after 7 series wins, because they only had to win 1 more series, but they are losing every single one. They lost to MBE, the only team in the league to do so, and Cerberus just looks completely mental boomed.
Honestly, I'm not sure what is going on currently with them, and the game isn't over yet for sure. You still have Artemis, you still have him on the main carry, and you still have Pan, who's doing very well in this top lane position. Hero doesn't get his E back up.
There we go.
The solo Bolo, and he lives. And Pan, I mean, this man is trying.
Yeah, on the other side though, that's a trait on the jungler, because Draktar is struggling immensely in this game, can't play against the bot pressure. His top laner is trying to bail him out with some solo kills in the top lane now, also 2 platings over to Pan, so he's the shining light, the one hope for Cerberus now, but the other side is crumbling. We have an engage on the enemy ADC. Eddie's a huge shutdown, it goes over to Artemis, the perfect target. Who cares if Artemis dies here? It doesn't really matter, because Artemis secured the gold for himself. Huber is gonna die, most likely to the dive from Zorn. Artifact is here as well, so unfortunately that's still a 2-for-1 trade, but it's a huge shutdown over to the main carry of Cerberus, and suddenly there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon.
Yeah, man, it's Eddie doing Eddie things, right? Sprinting it down, trying to hold back his team as good as possible. He did that last year, I think, masterfully, when his team really was smurfing on basically every position but AD carry. And here we can see again what happened in jungle, and Draktar can't really play, and we see there was a 2-level difference between those 2 junglers. It's not anymore, and that's because of catch-up XP, and that's something that is just, like, the fact right now is that farming is cool, but if the other guy is perma-ganking and it works, and starts to invade you afterwards, it's just very easy to play the game, and it's impossible for you to really come back. So even though there was a huge farm need on Draktar, there's nothing really he can do now, because Soren's ganks all worked.
The game has calmed down a bit, the snowball is halted for now, Team Secret still in a good advantage, but now with 1 item finished on both Pan and Artemis, there suddenly is definitely some hope for Cerberus. Maybe this is what they needed, just going down again, but then finding the counterplay. Maybe this can swing the momentum not only of this game, but the whole situation in the league right now, because Cerberus, we know, when they hit their peak, when Artemis is firing on all cylinders, when the support staff gives him the perfect team fights, we're gonna ignore that, this team can certainly be dangerous. They've won a title. The only team to break GAM's title streak since 2021 is this Cerberus lineup, plus Draktar. So we know their ceiling is very high. Seems like they're definitely struggling to hit that kind of form at the moment, though, and with yet another kill on Huber, I'm once again not sure why you substitute in your different style support to then just play the best champion of your other support on him, where he ends. So it's a little bit questionable. Why is Huber here?
Yep, yeah, I don't know. Looking for another engage. Just flashes up, which probably isn't a good thing for his own team, considering how the last one went. Huber's back here, so that means that this Herald should be secured because Jax is pushing.
Got a ghosting.
I mean, it's not the flash yet, so it's not too bad.
He's still trying to look for something, and that's Elio. That's a good engage. Well done by Yado, and that's a kill over to Druktha. They also get the objective. I feel like Team Secret has missed the mark on their own lane assignments there. At least they get a lot of gold funneled onto their top laner. Jax was able to just shut down that tower to get the tower gold in the bot lane, 2 towers to 1. They're still in a 1.5k gold advantage, but compared to early in the game, when it looked like the snowball was rolling in full steam, this is now a pretty even game, and with the mid tower broken for the side of Cerberus, they will have first access to Dragon, and they're just getting away with all the objectives. Suddenly the game actually looks like it's in a decent spot for Cerberus.
Yeah, I mean, okay, crazy idea. And then this is something that I think is new for most people who have ever watched League in their lives, is instead of watching the enemy take an objective, you could be on the other side of the map taking your own objective. So
to be fair, they did that for Herald, because they had the Jax on the bot lane take the tower.
But that's crazy idea. We could have just taken the Drake with the rest of the team as well.
True.
I know that's a crazy concept, and instead of watching your enemies take the objective, you're actually on the Drake taking your own objective. But it could be the way here, especially if you want to cross map, because Drake was up. There was no reason for them to not just take the Mountain Drake and leave the Herald up, because in the end, again, they just kept watching, and I feel like that's like I think that's one of the main NA macro plays where you just watch your enemy take the objective and then walk away and get nothing. And I think that's something that Team Secret is doing a lot, where they just watch Cerberus take something and they don't really take anything back, and that's why Cerberus was allowed to get back into this game.
Yeah, and there's one issue for Team Secret that goes further than just their macro woes. A lot of the gold is now funneled into Sorn, and yeah, he's playing the more gold-heavy, the more carry-oriented style of Maokai, which admittedly got nerfed. It's not as strong anymore, but it still also means that players like, especially the Jax, are quite far behind their counterparts. So if there's ever an isolated fight between Hero and Pan will win all the time, especially once he finishes his second item, Death Stance, coming in. But now Druktha on the engagement. Sorn is rather squishy, but instead they divide their attention onto Artifact. Good stop from Druktha, he should be fine. Yado flashing again, and here's everyone else. Here comes the squad. That's a kill. Number 1, Hero goes down as well. Artifact trying to flash away, but Pan is on the chase, and he will certainly get this. Oh, actually stolen by Huber, but still 3 kills for Cerberus. They've come to life suddenly. Team Secret completely lost on the map, and 3 kills back to Cerberus. They take the gold lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Soren's camera, I think you can see it in his face, the pain of throwing away this game, because now it should be over. Now it is just so much easier for Cerberus to win the game. You're Zeri back in the game. You're Lissandra, now is the engaged tool that you want. Druktha is strong, Olaf is strong. You're just gonna stomp this game if you play it like this. And Team Secret, they just overcommitted. They don't respect that Cerberus is coming with everybody.
Not at all.
Even though you have Ashe and Varus, who should be first on all of those moves, you're just not playing with them. And funny story, your Varus and your Ashe have your main catch tools. They both have great ultimates to catch single people out, and every time they've played around Eddie, they've played around Ashe, good things happen, but they just stop. They play around Tiro, they play around Artifact, and I don't understand why.
It's a very, very unfortunate turn of events for Team Secret, as you pointed out. The player cameras, I will keep an eye on those as well. It's not looking like a good team atmosphere over there, and I think if you swap out all your junglers all the time and then also don't find any success anyway, it's gonna be rough on your mental. It's gonna strain the team atmosphere quite a bit. This team is on the verge of going down to, as we said before, to having to play their way back into the summer split through the promotion. Hero gets caught once again. That stuff which is not going to do anything, as there's so much follow-up CC. Actually, he stays alive for a decent amount of time. Artemis can't chase. Did he actually manage to escape? Yado's trying. Okay, Yado! A bit yikes. And everything misses, and Yado still gets the kill. So yet another kill over, but this time Team Secret actually able to punish on the other side of the map, as there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, Eddie is in trouble now, getting engaged on by Pan and Druktha. Druktha didn't have the ultimate yet, so he gets to live in the end, but... Okay, like, I think Cerberus couldn't have really played it worse, because they completely disrespected that Jax could survive that. And then Yado goes deeper, and then, I mean, Jax just mistimes his E, which is okay.
Yeah, but Cerberus still, Team Secret actually got a lot of gold on the other side of the map. This is nicely done from Drakthar, but yeah, they got the top tower, and that gold was funneled onto Artifact. So if you take a look at his itemization, he's actually really strong now in this mid game.
I mean, on paper, both teams I think have still good chances to win this game, especially if you land a good catch with a Varus ult, with the Ashe ult, or maybe Maokai engage. I think you're in a good position to really get something for Team Secret. On the other side, of course, that open big team fight for Cerberus, where Artemis can just do his thing, I think is what they're looking for. But right now, neither side really convincing with their gameplay, and now we see Team Secret has the control over the Drake area, and with 5 men here, it should probably end up being a team fight, because Cerberus, they don't seem to want to give this up.
Cerberus, all their ults available. No flash on Yado, but he does have the heal instead, so he can play a little bit of a pseudo-tank role. Pan is here, and look at Cerberus just walking back in and stealing the dragon away. That was really sad to watch from Secret, because they can't contest, and now they are trying to go for some of the kills. Pan's ultimate already ran out, so he has to be careful. Yado trying to interfere and trying to just buy space for his team. Gonna be the sacrificial lamb for this team, but that's fine, because they got the dragon, walked away with their objective. They're now in soul point. One member dying for that is more than fine, and they saved Pan's life. So in the end, it's 1-for-0 in kills, but yet another dragon in the hands of Cerberus.
Yeah, and again, Team Secret, not really sure what they were doing, because their team comp is really good at playing around their own vision. They make sure that enemy team Cerberus have to run into their vision, and then they send it with a Varus ulti, with the Ashe ulti, one-shot that first target, and then play the team fight after that. But they end up just letting Cerberus walk in for free, not doing anything about it, and then after the objective comes, then the engage gets pulled. So I'm not really sure what they're doing. So they did the right thing in the end, but they did it too late.
Can I ask you something about this composition? Because when I look at Team Secret, I would say, why would you even start the dragon there? Just play with your range, right? You have Addy poke, you have Artifact poke, you have Thorn control. You can just wait for them to kill themselves against your poke, right? And then they have to disengage, you get the dragon for free. Starting the dragon is actually the best thing that could ever happen for Cerberus, because they can then just force an insta-team fight. You can't leverage all the poke from Thorn, Artifact, and Addy. So I feel like Secret has completely misread their own win conditions around objectives.
Absolutely. I mean, all you should do is just you keep mid priority as much as you can. You place yourselves in that long river bush, basically towards the pixel bush, and you play it slow, and you don't start the objectives. As you said, you may just make sure that they take a lot of damage, they take a lot of punishment for even walking up. And with Varus, Ashe, Maokai, Jace, your poke comp, and of course you have possibilities to play team fights, but you don't have to.
Why would you commit to a 5-on-5 with full HP when the enemy team has Zeri, you have Varus? Like, that doesn't make sense conceptually at all, especially also adding on the fact that your Maokai can control all the entrances so easily. And he's AP Maokai, so that's gonna hurt. That's gonna whittle down their HP bars. Maybe they can redeem themselves with the next dragon fight in 2.5 minutes, because they have another opportunity to set it up. It's still very close in gold, and if they just play their cards correctly, they should be the team that is first to the objective, that can set up the traps and force the enemy team to overcommit and die.
On the other hand, I really like Artemis' item build. He basically decided for as much healing as possible, and shields, of course, that he can replenish always with that BT. So I really like that itemization just against that poke comp, making sure that he is not the one who's getting poked out. Yes, you can take HP off Pan, maybe Drakthar, maybe even Yado, but Artemis is the one that has to carry the team fight, and he's probably going to join at full life.
Yep, a little bit lower DPS, but that's fine, because you'd probably win 5v5s anyway. If you actually get on top of their poke champions, they will evaporate. So it's not so much about the highest DPS possible, and more about survivability, as you said. And now Cerberus is slowly getting control over the bot side river, which is dangerous. A dangerous game for Secret to play. Yes, it's only Chemtech Soul, maybe not the most impactful one, but you just don't want to give it up this early in the game.
Yes, last resets now coming out for the supports and the junglers, and that means the fight is gonna be on from now on. It's just gonna be fight around that dragon jungle. So Soren doesn't have his second item ready. So there's not going to be Radiant Virtue, not going to be that healing in the team fight to save his team. On the other hand, we don't have 3 items on Zeri on Artemis, and now the engage comes in.
There it is. That's Cerberus fighting on their terms, but 1 kill back. The jungler actually down, and now the counter engage for Secret. They're trying to kite away. A lot of time bought by Hero, but here comes the Olaf, and no one can stop the Olaf. Oh no, it's one of those games. He's going crazy. Elio, the poor Ash, is trying to flash away, and maybe he can actually escape, but it doesn't matter. He's only the support. He doesn't even bring anything, and suddenly Cerberus is storming the base. Olaf finally paying off, and why aren't we seeing more of this champion?
Don't ask me, man. Like, my team is picking it. I can tell you that Cho'Gath Olaf is broken, man. Trust.
Yeah, I do trust that Cerberus now will get the soul on the back half of this play as well. Everything now looking Cerberus. What an engage. This is so ballsy. Just flying over the wall. They get the instant kill on Artifact. It's traded back for their jungler, to be fair, but it's fine.
It shouldn't work. The problem is that you have like 3 poke champions trying to kill an Olaf, and that's just not that doesn't work at this point in the game. So Olaf just does what he wants and runs over the game. So like that. I mean, Cerberus goes for a really risky play. It ends up working because Olaf just runs him over, but it was really, really risky what they did.
Yep, it pays off here, and maybe this could be the momentum swing they need for the players. Win today secures playoff position, and they want to not only secure, they want to also tell all the other playoff teams, we are here to fight for another title. Drakthar might be here to fight for another benching, because he's out of position yet again. Good ultimate there to not die instantly. Had to use his flash, but Pan is here. Pan, uh-oh.
And Yado with the flank.
Oh no, this is looking rough. Pan is onto everyone. The team fight is already over. Secret has no chance whatsoever. 2 kills, 3 kills. Drakthar is getting away. Oh, the flash from Artifact desperately to try and get at least 1 kill back, but it doesn't work out. The decoy blocking everything. No, Yado, oh, he knows where Sorn is. Nicely done from Yado, spotting Sorn's position there with the blind Q. And in the meantime, everyone is already walking down into the base. I don't think Secret can defend this one. They are only a Jace and a Maokai, and Pan is already under tower. They're quickly falling. Artifact just gives his life for free, and the Nexus turrets under siege.
Yeah, and I mean, this reminds me a lot of the first series that we saw today. Yes, we saw a good early game from Team Secret. Yes, I feel